Welcome to Yoga and Meditation with Alisa, and today we're going to do a deep dive, exploration, and demonstration of the Yin Yoga archetypal pose called the saddle. Please get your props together. You're going to need a bolster, perhaps some blocks, and a folded blanket, and meet me back at the mat. Welcome to Yoga with Alisa, and today we're going to do a deep dive on the Yin Yoga pose called the saddle. And the saddle is a complex posture. It works many different target areas. For the joints of the body, it's going to work on the toes, the foot, the ankle, the knee, and the hip, the pelvis, the lumbar spine. For the muscle group, it's going to work on the quadricep muscle, which is the thigh, and the hip flexor. So it's a pretty far out and radical posture, and some people have a lot of fear wrapped around it, but there's so many ways to help you get into it and to basically prop your way through it, where you can receive the amazing benefits from all of these muscle groups being targeted simultaneously. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get into the SEIZA posture. And that's sitting on your heels, basically, right? So this may look right now like, wow, this is a really simple thing to do. Well, for some people, and maybe for some of you that are already trying this right now, you're like, whoa, this hurts. I can't do this. It hurts my knees. It hurts my ankles. So there's a way to prop up. And creating space between your buttocks and your heels is called propping up. You can take a pillow, you can take a folded blanket, you could use a block. I prefer a bolster or a pillow. So I'm going to actually put this between my butt and my heels, basically. I've created more space, and that is taking more stress off of my feet and toes and ankles for sure. It's also giving me a different angle of my knee. And for anyone who has any history of knee injuries, you may need to prop up even higher. It doesn't matter how high. I could put 3 bolsters. It doesn't matter. As long as I'm in this posture in this way, I am working on the ligaments and the bones of my feet and my ankles, and I am getting a quad stretch. You never want to feel any pain in the interior part, the meniscus area of the knee. The knee cap is going to stretch. You might feel some stretching behind the knee in different Yin Yoga poses, but this area right here, that's the meniscus area. The ligaments are thinner here, and that's why so many people blow out their knees. So you don't want to do that. Prop up if needed, okay? I don't need to prop up, so I'm going to take this away. A lot of people also find that they can get into this posture better if they widen their legs. That's the antler. So go ahead and do that. Some people can actually also sit in between their legs. If you're one of those people and this feels good for you, by all means, do it. We're going to begin to move backwards. And by walking the arms backwards, coming if you can onto your elbows, you'll see that I'm arching already, and I'm also increasing the stretch in my quads. My knees may lift off the ground, and that's fine, but that could be more stress on my ankles, which I definitely feel. I don't dig that very much. I don't like it. So I'm going to prop. I'm going to take one of my blocks and this bolster, and I'm going to prop it that way. And now I'm going to come back and lean back this way. A lot easier. And I'm still feeling the stretch in all of the places and spaces that I talked about earlier. My feet, my toes, my knees, but in the right place in my knees, my kneecaps, not my meniscus. I'm feeling it in my hip flexor. I've got a nice arch in my lumbar spine, and my quads are getting an amazing, amazing stretch. You can also do this, what we call half saddle, and you could be in the same posture, but one leg out and one leg in. So I'm only getting this on thigh, quad at a time, and that may be easier to start with. I'll switch to the opposite so you can see. To prop in this way, you really do need to have either a block and a bolster or a high enough bolster. It's that tilt in the bolster that comes up from the block. But I could also take a bigger bolster, this round one. You can get round bolsters, and they are a lot, the girth is bigger. And I can just use that and let myself come down on the bolster. That's going to give me more of a back bend here, but it works quite well. Like I said, it's a complex stretch because you're feeling it in so many different areas simultaneously. But it's quite wonderful, and there's nothing that stretches the quads the way this saddle pose does. To come out of it, you just kind of wiggle your way out. So, the saddle archetype. I just showed you probably 3, 4, 5 different ways, variations of propping into that posture. Another thing that I failed to mention was that if you did the dragon and the seal along with the SEIZA, so you have your SEIZA, you have your dragon or your up swan, where you're just doing your hip flexor, and you have your seal or sphinx. This 3 combo, it equals, if you add those 3 up, you're working the same target areas as you get in one posture of the saddle. So you could split them up that way, or you could just go into the saddle the way in the different variations that I showed you. The next time you're in a Yin Yoga class, choose the propping and the method of saddle the way that works for your body. And the only way to know that, because every body is different, is for you to explore this posture, to explore these different ways, to take the time and enjoy the process. Namaste. Thank you.